Hi everybody. So excuse the wet hair, I have literally just washed my hair because I've been at work this morning. It's a quiet day, so it meant I got to finish a bit early, and then I decided to come home and my hair felt icky after being on treatment for a couple of days. So it's nice and clean now. Anyway, so this week I am doing another review, and this one is Mean Girls. I've been obsessed with Mean Girls for so long, so to actually see it on Broadway was absolutely incredible. So I've got the tickets here. There was 3 of us, but the third ticket's gone missing. Again, I can't tell you what the discount was, but I know we got a pretty good discount on this one. These were ones that we got through the TKTS tickets. We queued up for these. Oh. Okay, I have literally been obsessed with this soundtrack for such a long time. We've got an At This Performance cast. I think there was only one difference. There's only 1 or 2 differences with this one. So I got to see Jennifer Samard and Mrs. Heron, Miss Norbury and Mrs. George, and I love Jennifer Samard. So that was absolutely awesome. I think the only difference on this one is that Ian Young played Mr. Heron. I think that was the only difference. It was so good. I'm going to start off by saying the only bad thing about it, and it's not even bad really, it was just I think that they were having some issues with kind of the mic levels a little bit, or the performance that I saw, because I'll admit, my mum admitted not being able to hear some of it, but to be fair, she does wear a hearing aid, so I'm not sure I can take hers completely, her comments on not being able to hear stuff because of the whole hearing aid thing and the fact that, you know, she can't really hear. But I was aware that kind of like when you've got like the whole huge orchestra bit at the beginning and the music was really loud, and then you've got Janice and Damien come in and they seemed really quiet to start with. So I'm not sure if it was just the levels quite right, or maybe they were having a problem with the mics when I saw it, but I could hear everything else. It was just getting the levels right between the music and the thing when we were going between the two, so going from the loud music to the dialogue. That was the only time that was really an issue. But yeah, that's the only bad thing I have to say. So when that's the only bad thing, that tells you there's something. But yeah, so I've been listening to this soundtrack for a very long time. I'm obsessed with all of it, and to be honest, watching it has just made me even more obsessed with it. I've been listening to it around the clock. I listen to it in the shower, I listen to it when I'm driving. I'm still not bored of it, so that tells you something. I got to see Taylor Louderman as Regina, and I got to see Barrett Wilbert Weed and Gray Henson and Erica Henningsen, and as I said, Jennifer Samard. It was weird because obviously I'd be watching the Broadway World vlogs with Erica. Like, I've watched them so many times, and it was really bizarre to be watching them and thinking, I watched those guys in the vlogs and now I am seeing them live on stage. And I've never done that with a show before, where I've watched kind of like the Broadway, well, I've watched the vlogs and then gone to the show. This is my first time experiencing that, and it was so cool. And like, I was seeing people like the ensemble and stuff and thinking, I know who that is. I've watched the videos and I've seen interviews with them, you know, and it was such a weird feeling to be able to see it like that, but it was so cool. I am going to take you through the entire cast, because that's what I do apparently. We've got Erica Henson as Katie Heron. We've got Taylor Louderman as Regina George, Christina Alabado as Gretchen Wieners. Christina was absolutely fantastic, by the way. Oh, she was so good. Kate Rockwell as Karen Smith, Barrett Wilbert Weed as Janice, Gray Henson as Damien. I see Jennifer Samard as Miss Heron, Miss Norbury and Mrs. George. Kyle Selig as Aaron Samuels. Yeah, I'm just checking with my comparison list. Okay, and then we've got Cheech Manahar as Kevin, and then the only difference was, yes, we've got Rick Younger as Mr. Duval, Collins Conley in the ensemble, as well as Demarius R. Copes, Kevin Cosculella, sorry, there's lots of L's there, so I'm really sorry about that one, Ixchel Keller, Ashley De La Rosa, Devon Hadsell, Curtis Holland, Mars McHale, Chris Medlin, Becca Peterson, Donalyn Saxon, Christine Shepherd, Brendan Stimson, Jake Swain, Reese Takahashi, Daryl Topher, Danielle Wade, Bria Jen Williams, Gianna Yanelli, Ian Young, who I got to see as Mr. Heron. And then you've got Tina Fey, who wrote the book, and Jeff Richmond, who was the music and the vocal arrangements, and Nell Benjamin, who did the lyrics, and Casey Nicolodeau was the director and the choreographer. And then also you've got Scott Pask with scenic design, Greg Barnes on costume design, Kenneth Posner in lighting design. Okay, I haven't really gone this far with the rest of them, but I don't care. Ryan Ronan as sound design, Finn Ross as video design, Adam Young as video design, Josh Marquette as hair design, Medigros Medina Serdiera as makeup design, Mary Mitchell Campbell as music director and vocal arrangements, and then it goes on to the orchestrations by John Clancy, and it was absolutely fabulous. And it was cool to see how they used the screen, because with Mean Girls you don't have sets coming in and up, coming out. It was, because if you saw my Sound of Music backstage, Mean Girls has a giant screen at the back, which is what we had for Sound of Music, and everything is done. It's basically lots of tiny little screens put together to make a giant screen, and all the different scenes are put onto this giant screen. And obviously when I was doing Sound of Music, I didn't really get to see it because I was in front of it all the time. So it was very rarely that we were facing the back. So we did get a chance to see it kind of individually when we first saw the screen go up, but we didn't really know what was happening behind us during the show. So yeah, with Mean Girls they've got a giant screen. If you want to see more about kind of the backstage stuff, I do recommend you go to Broadway.com, and it's Erica Henningsen, who plays Katie, just basically did like this giant video blog. It was like 13 or 14 episodes I think in the end, where she just basically went backstage and she shows you the entire cast. She shows you things to do with like this, I see the set. She kind of showed you a little bit of the screen, and you can just basically see what it's like to be on Broadway in Mean Girls, and that's part of what made me obsessed with this show. But yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. Gray Hinton and Barrett Wilbert Weed as Damien and Janice was just genius. Because I mean, I was first introduced to Barrett Wilbert Weed when she did Heathers, because I love the Heathers soundtrack. It's so good. But yeah, it was so cool seeing Barrett Wilbert Weed live on stage. And I'm not usually the kind of person to kind of geek over that kind of side of things, but when there's a lot of people in this show who I really admire, like I said, I really look up to Barrett Wilbert Weed, Erica Henningsen after seeing in the vlog. It's just that folk, it just makes it a bit more personal. And as I said, I've been obsessed with Jennifer Samard for a long time. And then also seeing Taylor Louderman as well. It's just like when you're seeing people who you do look up to, it is very inspiring, and it's kind of, it is hard to describe, but it is so good. Oh, by the way, I forgot to say on my little thing, I just seen it, it says we're happy to welcome to the company Tovey Wayne as a swing. So yeah, so I got to see it when they introduced Tovey. So yeah, I got to see Tovey Wayne. But yeah, it was just so good. Music is absolutely incredible. The whole book by Tina Fey, I mean, it's Tina Fey, obviously it's hilarious. And the thing is though, it's kind of like when I went to see Legally Blonde when I was, God, I was like 17, 18. Yeah, there was just this thing where you just go into it thinking, really? It's a musical? But then you sit down, you're just like, this is more than just Mean Girls on stage. It's more than just Legally Blonde put on stage. There is a message to it, and you know, yeah, there'll be a message that you probably took away from the film, but I think there's a clearer message in the actual show, because with Legally Blonde it was all about, you know, that Elle comes into her own and realises she doesn't need a man, and she's one hell of a smart woman, and she ends up being a lawyer, and she finds herself as well as maybe getting a guy. In Mean Girls you've got the whole thing of being nice to each other, you know, and kind of like teenage angst and stuff, because I think nearly everybody in the world can relate to high school. But you know, you can identify with the whole high school thing, the high school cliques, even in the UK where people say there's not really cliques, you know. In my school there kind of was. It wasn't as extreme as what's usually shown in like high school movies and stuff. especially American high school movies. But there is that clear divide between kind of like the popular girls or the athletes, and you know, the people who are kind of in the grey area, kind of the middle, which I think is kind of what like Damien and Janice are, because it's just like they're not hated by everybody, they're kind of the middle, and I think that's probably where I kind of was. Yeah, it was just absolutely fantastic music, incredible, the message behind it. I mean, there were certain points, especially towards the end, where everybody was cheering. There's the whole bit, because I think Kate Rockwell as Karen Smith, just perfect. I'd love to see who takes on the role next, because it's like Kate Rockwell is Karen. Not in a bad way, because I mean, because I think there'll be people out there who, if they know like the soundtrack and stuff, the first time you see Karen, she's basically there going, "My name is Karen, my hair is shiny, my name is Karen, I may not be smart." That's it. It's like that's the first thing you really hear of Karen in the whole show, is her basically saying, "This is me, I'm the hot one, but I'm also ridiculously stupid." And then as you go through it, you realise she's not stupid. She's just, it's just a different kind of smart. And I think that's always the thing to remember. Just because you're not good at maths, or you're not good at science, or you're not good at English, or like if you find a subject that you're not good at, it's not that you're an idiot or that you're stupid, it's just that's not where you thrive. That's not, because it's like with me, I was not that good at maths and science. I mean, I can do basic maths, but I was never, they were never my favourite subjects, and therefore I wasn't interested in it, and therefore I wasn't that great at it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, my smarts are in English and drama and performing and music. I mean, I got a B in my GCSE music. I was so proud of that. And I love that the message of Mean Girls is that there is different kind of smarts. You know, throughout the whole thing, you're basically seeing this idea that Karen is not a smart girl, but she is, and she's just got smarts in different areas. But yes, so continue to go see Mean Girls. I'm really hoping it does come to the UK. If it does come to the UK, I kind of want to be Katie or Janice, to be honest. I'm not sure I could be Regina. I mean, there is a line in one of the songs where she says, you know, "I never weigh more than 115, and I weighed more than 115. I must admit, saying that though, they have just announced, for me, they've just announced, you know, in this time frame, they have just announced that Taylor Louderman is leaving and a new Regina is coming in. I'm looking forward to hearing about the new actress who's playing Regina. Apparently she's quite young, she's like 18 or 19 or something. So that would be cool to see an actual teenager in Mean Girls. I mean, it was a big deal when they did it in Dear Evan Hansen. So I'm really looking forward to hearing about and possibly getting to know the new Regina. But go see Mean Girls. Download the soundtrack. If you're interested in backstage vlogs, go to Broadway.com and track down Erica Henningsen's backstage vlogs, because it was so good. And I watched it again when I got home when I got home from New York, because I wanted to watch it again and see the people who I had just seen and just think, oh, I got to see them. But yeah, it was such good, so great music, great message. Look beyond the movie Mean Girls and take away from it what you need to. Oh god, well, at least during this video my hair's dried. But yeah, go see Mean Girls. It was so good, and as I said, I am even more obsessed with this soundtrack than I was before, and I was already pretty obsessed. But yeah, so if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. You can chat to me in the comments. If you're watching this at night, go to bed, because you need to get up in the morning. I bet you need to get up in the morning. If you don't need to get up in the morning, you know, just stay in bed as long as you want. Watch videos till 3 o'clock in the morning if you don't have to get up in the morning. Because do what you want, basically. You don't have to listen to me. And I bet a lot of you don't. You probably go, oh, this will be the last one. And then you get distracted by something in the sidebar and just like, oh, let's watch Craig Ferguson videos. Because that's what I've been doing. I think I finished watching something, and then I see something pop up and I just go, I need to watch that. and then it sends me into like this whirlwind of just going through and just watching ridiculous things. Anyway, thank you for watching the latest review. The next one is King Kong. You want to stay tuned for that one, because I've got stuff to say about King Kong, and I think some people might be pissed off at me, but we'll see. But yeah, so King Kong is the next one. As I said, if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. I do put out videos every single Wednesday, and yeah, I'll see you next week. Mwah.